Hey y'all, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm Delina. Today's video is about two of my favorite things, thrifting and decorating. We are gonna go over 10 of the most common things you can thrift for a cottage core decor. So I hope you're going to enjoy it. I hope you're gonna get lots of inspiration, and let's get started. Okay, so by no means is there just 10. I had Google narrow it down for me because I couldn't do it. So I had Google list what were the 10 most common things you could thrift for a cottage core style or decor. First one we're going to talk about is floral china and transferware. These are also out of order. None are like more important than the other ones. So what I'm gonna do is we're gonna talk a little bit about it. I'm gonna show you how I decorated those items in my home. We'll discuss some things about prices and we'll go from there. All right, floral china and transferware. If you don't know what transferware is, this is blue transferware. Okay, many different patterns, comes in quite a few different colors. Blue, I think, is the most common one out there. There's green, there's brown, pinkish or red, depending on who's selling it. I'm trying to think what the other ones are. But that's just off the top of my head. So these can range greatly in price. If you go to the antique marts or malls, you're looking at, they can be $12 a plate, $15 a plate. Thrifting, you're still talking a few dollars upwards to 10, depending on, again, the color, the style, what you're looking for. This is I would classify it as a reproduction. I got this at Home Goods for $5, and it's transferware brown, okay? What can you do with transferware? I like to hang mine on the walls in collections. I like to put them in containers together. 4th of July, if you're here in the United States, is just around the corner. You could take blue and white and red and blue transferware, put them together in a vignette, would be beautiful for that vintage vibe. And then china. Obviously, I'm gonna grab a teacup right here. China, floral china, again, you can put it on the wall. You could use your teacups as scoops in your oats, sugar, flour canisters. I also candle holders, jewelry holders, on and on and on. So at the end of each segment, after I go through talking, I'm going to actually throw in some photos of some ideas and inspiration for you too. So. Okay, I need to pop in here because I just edited the video and forgot to mention you want to stay to the very end of the video because I'm going to share one of my
recently favorite thrift stores. So make sure you stay to the end. I know I look a little roughed. Okay.
Number 2, antique or vintage books. They can range anywhere from $1 upward to $10 per book, depending on their age, their condition, and who you're buying them from. I don't think you could go wrong with this one. I think it instantly adds character to your house. I think they can go in any vignette in any room. So I have a commentary here that I paid $2 for this one, and then the second book was also $2. Sometimes thrift stores can run a deal. Like this past weekend, I came away with a stack of 8 books for $4. Again, I had to dig, but thrift stores have always have a ton of books. So next time you're in the thrift store, do not pass on them. Even if you're not like a reader, you don't have a bookcase, they're fantastic on a coffee table or sitting on a shelf as a riser. So do not pass on antique books. Number 3, stoneware or ceramics. Y'all know I love my ironstone. I believe it is probably the most versatile thing that you can get. I have gotten ironstone for less than $1 at Goodwill, believe it or not, and I've paid upwards to, I believe the most I've ever paid was $25. And it was an exceedingly large pitcher, and it was normally $50 and it was half off that day. And it was rare. So depending on the condition and their age, again, determines how much you're gonna pay. I believe your cream colored pitchers or white pitchers are one of the most common things that you can find. You can find them in Dollar General and purchase them in a grouping, in clusters together. They make such a wonderful statement. Flowers, wooden utensils, you name it, you cannot go wrong with this one. Handmade textiles, quilts. You see the quilt behind me? On a couch, on a wall. Guess what? Doilies fall into this category. You are always going to hear me, when in doubt, add a doily. Say hello to Finn. So, handmade textiles, Afghans. I'm just going to throw in here pillows, drapery, lace, tablecloths, things of those nature are a wonderful thing to add to your household, to give that cottage core or the grandma core, however you want to name it. The craftsmanship that goes into these products, you cannot get those off of a machine. So someone took their time, their effort, and their love to make these. You can buy doilies for $1 all the way up. Quilts, I've paid less than $5 and about $50 for a really, really custom handmade one. So, again, these are all thrift prices, so grain of salt, depending on where you live. Moving on. Conversational starters. These are the unique pieces. Like, for instance, this is my husband's family heirloom. It's a floor radio that has been in his family many, 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 many years. And it takes center stage here in our dining room. It is definitely one of those pieces that people ask about all the time. They'll ask about the grandfather clock that sits behind me, even though it's not an antique. It is still something that gets that, it's different than everybody else has. Something totally off the wall. Or you know that I also like, quote unquote, the unexpected in my vignettes. These are antique pieces like doorknobs, salvage pieces, corbels, antique radios, those pieces. And price, that's gonna range. I mean, it can be whatever you value in your heart, what it's worth. Typewriters are another thing. So look at those unexpected ones and think, where could I put that? Antique solid wood pieces, furniture pieces, apothecary cabinets, antique vanities, sideboards, dressers, coffee tables, dining room tables. I could go on and on and on and on. Facebook Market, and I have seen some in some good thrift stores that you can find good pieces of, like a side table or a washstand, a hutch. Those are your big ticket items. I would classify those as. There's nothing like the quality and the workmanship that go into those pieces. You cannot get that nowadays. I think it totally adds to that cottage core look. Those pieces are what carries it. Even if you just invest in at least one piece in living areas, like a sideboard to set your TV on, an entry table, those are your statement pieces. A hutch to display your ironstone in. Think about that as far as they are an investment, but so worth it. And you'll have them for many, many, many years. Brass, silver, and copper, oh my. Y'all know my love of copper. Copper adds such a warmth as far as metals go. You know, I've done the copper molds on the soffits in my kitchen, my copper display, brass candlesticks, brass figurines, brass frames, silver candlesticks, silver salt and pepper shakers, the chafing dish collars, on and on and on I can go. These pieces, again, range greatly in price, but so worth it. You could start very small and not spend a lot of money. You could start a collection and over time add to it. So think about that when you're out thrifting, looking at those pieces. Candlesticks can be mismatched and just a grouping of 6, 7 odd numbers of a brass candlesticks down the middle of your dining room table is a beautiful centerpiece. Baskets. I don't think I even have to say anything about the baskets. Again, can find them very cheaply in the thrift stores. Don't you dare go out and buy a brand new basket somewhere. You go hit those thrift stores. I guarantee you'll find baskets at a fraction of the cost that you're going to find them brand new. Display, storage. I use one for dog toys. I mean, you cannot go wrong. They add such texture. They come in different colors. You can dye them, you can paint them. On and on and on. Before we go any further, if you made it this far, I thank you so much for hanging in there with me. I know this is a different kind of video. I have filmed this now 2 or 3 times, and it's just because it's different for me, and I like to bring the best I can possibly bring to you. You mean the world to me. I want to do as good a job as I possibly can for you. In that regards, if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Consider hitting that hype button. And if you really like it and want to see more of my decorating and my makeovers, and believe it or not, before you know it, it'll be fall. We'll be into the fall decor. Consider hitting that subscribe button. I love chatting with you guys down in the comments. It means the world to me. There are days that I feel like I just ought to throw in the towel. I'm not saying this to like gain comments or sympathy or anything like that. We all go through those moods, okay? And God will send me one of you through the comments to encourage me every single time I'm in one of those, oh, I should just give up kind of moods. So know that whether you know it or not, you're being used as an encouragement to me. So, all right, moving on. Ornate mirrors. I'm gonna kind of tip this down. Angles are hard, people. Small, large, wall, on a table, in a vignette. Those mirrors are a fantastic thing to add to your home. Makes the room look larger. Reflects light throughout your room. So if you have a dark room, you have only like one window, hang a mirror opposite of that window to reflect the light that you do have. A grouping of mirrors are beautiful. I have one of those in my bathroom. You'll see that in the photos. I have several mirrors. Price point, again, I think that's subject to where you live and the condition that the mirror is in. Goodwill always has a ton of mirrors. Okay, I found very large mirrors for under $20. So do not pass on those. Setting them using it as a tray is a gorgeous thing too. So very versatile. So ornate mirrors, number 9. We only have one more left. Number 10 and our last one in this category. Sorry for the echo, I'm in the hallway. Vintage or botanical artwork. A grouping such as what I have behind me, a gallery wall, if you would like. Nothing says cottage more than floral prints or a still life or, landscape. Artwork is very important in a house. So again, it is subject to your taste, what you love and what you like. Frames, you can buy frames all day long in the thrift stores. I have found some gorgeous frames. If you like the shape, but don't like the color of the frame, you can rub and buff it, you can paint it, you can spray paint it. The list goes on and on. So look for the shape other than the color. Well, that ends today's video. I know a little bit different. Next week's is what's behind me. It is my hallway makeover. What you cannot see is I am going to teach you how to stamp the walls to get a DIY, customizable, budget-friendly for under $10 faux wallpaper. I'm going to show you how to put together a gallery wall. And what you cannot see, I don't think you can see it, is a very unexpected use of an antique piece of furniture, not that dresser, to do a vignette. You're going to love this one because I did. I'm like, I saw it and I'm like, I have to make that. And I have to share it with you guys. So that's next week's video. You do not want to miss that one. I'm also going to share, see that light up there? That was a clear, glass light that blinded you when you looked down the hallway. And I'm like, I need to fix that. So I'm going to teach you how to do that too, to make it look like milk glass. I hope you have a fantastic week. But don't sign off yet. At the end of this video, I am going to give you a tour of one of my hidden gems that I've discovered as far as a thrift store. It is Ever After Finds thrift store owned by Christina Foster. And I'm going to include her little, her card on the screen. She's in Valdosta, Georgia. Her store is fantastic. It is a mix of an antique kind of mall situation with a thrift store. So if you're in the area, I strongly suggest you check her out and tell her I sent you. And it's just a short little clip at the end. So, she's also on Facebook. So if you go over to Facebook or you hit her up on Instagram or whatever, tell her I sent you. Y'all, I will see you next week.